Hello there, and welcome to another video. So, as the title says, we've got some news about new updates for regarding Starfield, as well as some future kind of prospects. So, an interview came out on the Kind of Funny podcast with Todd Howard. I will link it in the description. And he covered some stuff, a lot of stuff with Fallout and stuff like that, TV show. But he also covered some stuff about Starfield. So I just thought I'd get this video out to kind of highlight some of the things that were mentioned, just for anybody that either hasn't watched it or just wants to hear some news. So one of the first things he mentioned, which I will say, bit of a clickbaity, not clickbaity, but I would strap in. This is some interesting stuff. Anyway, so one of the first things he mentioned was that a new update is going to be going live on Steam Beta in a few days. That's going to have new shipbuilding stuff, which that has me pretty excited. So the way that works, for anyone that's not familiar, it will go live in the Steam beta, and then after the going live in the Steam beta, it will basically be 2 weeks later, it will go live on Xbox and in the PC Game Pass and stuff. So I will be I will be showcasing any of the new features when that goes live on Steam. Another thing he mentioned, which is kind of a bit of a letdown, but he says Shattered Space is going to be coming in the fall. So for my non-Americans out there, that's usually between September and November. So maybe we might see it launch on the 1 year anniversary of Starfield. This is it's a bit of a setback, to be honest, for the fans, because we've been hoping. I mean, I myself have been saying like, oh, I think we're going to be getting some, the DLC should be coming shortly. But I will say though, I've been saying for like the last while that I feel like we're gonna get like a new update for the first week of kind of May, and seems like we're correct. So Todd also mentioned that there's going to be another big update coming very soon. Now he kind of specified another big update, so it's not the ship update that's coming in a few days. This one is going to have stuff like city maps, as well as some other content that he hasn't really mentioned. He didn't go into much details, and he didn't say when. He just says it's going to be coming soon. Realistically, I would see it probably coming out like maybe like 6 to 8 weeks. We'll say like a month and a half after this current update. So maybe like this time, maybe like around the middle of June, we might see it. Hopefully sooner. Sooner would be nicer, but realistically, they want to have kind of a good time frame between their updates. He was asked about kind of like what did he learn with Starfield's kind of launch, and he says that him and the team were happy with the general stability of the game from their stats, which is interesting considering that one of the things a lot of people were kind of pushing out there when the game launched, that it ran very poorly on PC and stuff. And again, I at the time I played on console and I didn't have too much issue with it. Now I had a few friends that played Starfield. Some had issues, some didn't. But I think it's just kind of interesting that it highlights that once again, like when it comes to like any sort of thing online, there's always going to be like an echo chamber of people kind of pushing a specific narrative. And that's not to say that obviously there was some issues with the game, but like clearly the issues weren't as they weren't as prominent as people would have you believe. He also mentioned the player milestone. It's the largest player count they've had in any of their games, aside from Fallout Shelter, which that's a mobile game. And he attributes a lot of that to Game Pass, which again makes sense. Game Pass, like hell, like being able to spend, what was it, like, I think it's like 10 euro, I think, a month, and you get access to Starfield. And realistically, if you grind that month, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's one of the things I like about Game Pass and stuff, is just that you like this. I haven't really bought many games since Game Pass has came out. I've just been like, yeah. He also talks about how Starfield was a new experience for him and the team, and it was something vastly different to Fallout and Elder Scrolls. And he mentioned that when building it, there was kind of the one element, or one of the big things that kind of stood out to him, is with the planets. He wanted to be like, I want to see those planets. I want to go there. So planetary exploration was definitely something he was interested in. He said that more gameplay options as well as different display modes for consoles will be coming. He said it'll just take time, but it's coming. Again, I feel like that's probably going to be the gameplay options. Realistically, will probably come with their big update that they're planning, like not the current one, not the ship update, the next one. Realistically, um, the display different display updates for console. It would be really nice to give console a 60 FPS. Just because, like, don't get me wrong, like I played Starfield on Xbox, and it ran perfectly fine. But it would be nice to just have, give people the option. Some people might prefer the frame rate over the resolution. Like I know now that I play on a PC and stuff, I can get 4K 60, and like, excuse me, the game. I mean, the game looked phenomenal from the get go as is, but it's just nice to kind of have that increased resolution, or frame rate, not resolution. Sorry. Regarding the creation kit, he says that some content creators, modders basically, have gotten their hands on the creation kit already, and that they've been kind of playing around with it. And obviously, it's coming, but there'll be more info soon. Again, kind of soon is the kind of the synopsis with this, some of these. And then obviously, the last thing is he was asked about console mods, and console mods are confirmed. It's been something since Skyrim and Fallout, and it's something that they kind of will always do, and that was kind of expected, but it's nice that they highlight it anyway. So yeah, so this is just a kind of a quick-ish video, I suppose, but the kind of the big takeaway from it, like realistically, is that we've got some updates coming out. There's been pushback on, or the new expansion, Shattered Space, is coming later than was anticipated, which is a bit of an interesting one, because I've said before in the past, usually Bethesda tries to get their their first big kind of, or their first DLC out 6 months, around 6 month mark, which I think we're close to that now. We might have passed it actually, but again, these new kind of, if this new update, the ship update comes out, and then the big one, if they're substantial in new improvements, then obviously that's good from our kind of point of view. Regarding the other big update and stuff, when he talked about like city maps and being able to kind of the gameplay options with like stuff like survival mode, like the gameplay options, obviously he didn't mention, to my knowledge, I may have missed it, but I don't think I did, but he didn't mention a survival mode. But I think realistically, if you're giving players the ability to kind of tweak and change a load of different gameplay settings, from how much food heals you to how much your weapons do in a ship to how much stuff you can carry, it would seem like the perfect solution if Bethesda kind of added in their own kind of custom preset, like, oh, you can set up your game you want the way you want, or you can use our preset, which could be a survival mode. Because I feel like survival mode is definitely something that we really want to see. I think a lot of us want to see. I know it's not for everybody. Like, been chatting a bit on the Discord about survival mode from Fallout, because a lot of new people have gotten into Fallout, and obviously it's not for everybody. I personally am a big fan of it. I like the kind of the realism of it, like the idea of kind of having to go and land and get fuel for your ship and stuff, and combat being more dangerous, like more of an emphasis on like the kind of the dangers of the different kind of damage over times and stuff, and needing to eat and sleep would definitely be really, really interesting. As for like regarding like the stuff like the that the kind of they were saying about how they were happy with the milestone and like the general performance of the game, which again, it's interesting. It did have pretty big milestone, and obviously I want to touch back real quick. One of the things they said when they were talking about it was like that, like they, which I should have mentioned at the start, was that he sees that a lot of people really enjoy the shipbuilder, and I think that's kind of the reason why they're probably going to push out the shipbuilding update, because I feel like realistically, a lot of the people that are still playing the game currently are people that are enjoying the shipbuilder, kind of like the settlement builders in Fallout 4. So just throwing them a bone, it's kind of like, it's like, good job, Todd. Obviously we'd like more, but take what we get. And then yeah, I think the only really other thing is, with him talking about being a big proponent of landing on planets, it makes me wonder, like, with the changes to ways to travel. Now, he didn't specifically, to my knowledge, he didn't mention the new ways to travel in the thing, but I didn't watch every single part of it. I just kind of watched the sections that was on Starfield, because he talked about the TV show and stuff, which, yeah. But we know that it's coming, the new ways to travel. You know, we just don't know what that is. But the fact that he kind of is emphasizing that he really likes the idea of exploration and stuff, and they've kind of hammered that home in some of their automated AI responses about like stuff, makes me think. I wonder, like, because initially we've speculated here, and I don't want to speculate too much, you know, because this is supposed to be news. But the fact that we know that new ways to travel is coming, and one of the ways we've kind of been talking about, like I've said, is about vehicles and stuff, and it's been pondered, the idea of having a little kind of a rover or something, and just going with what he was saying about like exploration and how he likes to explore planets and stuff, and he, you know, it would be really interesting to see him kind of play into that exploration and give us, you know, like rovers. Like, one of the things that I think would be kind of cool to do, again, this is speculation, but we know there's some planets in the game that you can't really go to, but it'd be cool if there was planets that were super toxic, and the only way you could explore them was with a rover or something like that. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Just a little bit of a news update. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people are going to be a little bit saddened by, you know, like, we're not getting the new expansion for another several months. But I think the update coming this week should be good. Obviously, I'll be covering it depending on the caliber. I think my opinion so far is I'm still optimistic. I'm hyped about the new update with the ship stuff. Now, my opinion could change next week if it comes out and there's only like 5 or 6 new ship parts, but we shall see. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this sort of content, and check out some of my other videos. Bye bye.